Hey, hey, everybody! Welcome. It's
Welcome.
Don't Worry Wednesday, except
Just
it's
don't worry.
Monday, so it's not Don't Worry
Right.
Wednesday. It's Don't Muddle Monday. Welcome.
Welcome.
We are going right.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's kind of yeah. Yeah. We're ready. We're going. We're live.
We are. This is awesome. So welcome again. We're gonna say welcome like 1,400
Yeah.
times,
It's too
and
bad it's not Wednesday, because then there'd be another couple of W's in that welcome message.
there would.
Welcome when welcome Worry Wednesday. A couple of W's in that phrase. There's no M to welcome people.
There's an M at the end of welcome.
Oh, you're right. Welcome to
Yes.
Don't Muddle Monday.
Oh, apparently the
That
cameras are in
sounds
the wrong
great.
places.
Oh, that's because I came on before you did. I'll fix that. There you go.
Hey, look at that. Now we're
Cool.
probably correct.
Well, Ryan, you look different. Yep, sure did. For a moment there, I started to look a little bit better. But here we are, back to normal.
We got it figured out. So this is the show. You guys know the show. It's the show we handle any issues, challenges, or complications that you may be having in your life. We're not professional therapists or counselors or anything like that. But we just want to be your friends and help in any way we possibly can. Sometimes things get tough, and the best thing you can have is a friend pull up alongside you and offer some perspective, but more importantly, just love and encouragement and affirmation that things are going to be okay. Especially in a time period that we're in right now where things are kind of up in the air, things are a little bit confusing and a little bit out of the ordinary for most folks. And we're just glad to be here because, yeah, we get to spend time with you guys and each other, which is fun. Our chat room hostess is Princess. She is amazing. She's keeping us and you in line. And
right.
our producer is Jesse. He keeps us. He turns us off and on again.
That's right.
Yes. And and I'm Joe, and in the appropriate position above me is Ryan.
I don't know if it's appropriate, but it is me. I do want to say, Journey to Japan said they watched the Double Cup of Joe this morning. They thought that muddle meant splashing around in the mud as well. But for those of you that don't know what muddle means, it means to mix in confusion, basically.
Yes.
When you muddle something, you mix it all up and make it confused.
Mm-hmm.
So you can muddle your orange juice with milk, and that's going to be, you muddled the orange juice because you put milk in it. That's gross, right? Yeah. So don't do that Monday. That's what we're on.
I felt kind of hungry before you mentioned that. No, not at all.
Oh, sorry. Don't. You have chocolate and you have peanut butter, and you muddled it when you put them together.
Oh, but that's so good though.
Yeah, I know. But it's different because it's not into a confused state. See, milk and orange juice is a confused state. Those two don't belong together, and everything gets all weird. Some things start to
but then what about the orange creamsicle?
Chemically happen. Orange creamsicles are awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not a popsicle lover.
And is it the vanilla that fixes the milk flavor or something? Is it because of that? Because an orange creamsicle is what? Isn't it orange and vanilla?
Well, it's sugar, and then some orange flavoring, orange color. And then you have ice cream, which is the sugar, more sugar and sugar with some sugar. Yeah.
And a little bit more,
even more sugar than what's on the outside. And then a little bit of cream and vanilla. Yeah. So you'd think it's like orange and vanilla, but really it's just all sugar. That's why.
Yes.
That's why it works. Actually, milk and orange juice isn't a bad idea. I've had milk and orange juice together multiple times. It's good.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
right.
It's different than like milk and it's different than orange juice and toothpaste. Like that doesn't go together, right?
Not at all.
But
That's
milk
horrible.
and orange juice actually does go together. I've had it. There's a couple of drinks that have that. Milk
I'm
orange
sorry.
juice is fine.
I was just imagining having a glass of orange juice and then taking a tube of toothpaste and going,
Mm.
turn it all up in there.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah,
that'd be something.
that's my morning cup. Oh my
You know,
gosh.
I do feel bad for Luxoka. Luxoka says I'm British, so I never had Taco Bell. That's so, man, Taco Bell's so wonderful.
Taco Bell is like,
it's way better
so
than orange
American.
juice and toothpaste.
You know, people think burgers are American. Really, Taco Bell is American.
Taco Bell is American.
Mm-hmm. It's American tacos, which aren't the same as Mexican tacos.
Mm-hmm.
They're really good, though. Sorry, you've never had them, Luxoka. Maybe someday you'll get the chance.
Yeah, they probably in Mexico they probably do not have Mexi Melts.
Right.
But they do at Taco Bell.
That's right.
Yep. So anyway, we're going to talk about food and it's going to be amazing. But I think, we got a show here.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, welcome everybody. You guys look amazing in the chat. It's great to see all of you here. Journey to Japan, thank you for mentioning the Double Cup of Joe show. That's the show we do on this channel every day at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. As me, Joe, and Joe Bohan. So that's why there's two Joes, Double Cup of Joe. It's a really cool little punny thing we did.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so feel free. If you subscribe and hit the bell, you will get the notification. Hopefully, if we set the show up properly, then you will get a notification and when we're gonna go live. And
yeah, it's about that time.
Check that out too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
hit that bell notification, and then just pay attention when that thing goes off. You can be like, oh, cool, they're gonna do it. It's really nice for the people on the other side of the world. They finally get a chance to get us during their afternoons or whatever, even evenings, because Don't Worry Wednesday is at a really bad time for you guys.
Yeah, it is. It's tough for I know it's like 2 a.m. for some of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, it's tough. So, but we just wanted to be available for you guys. We want to be here and hanging out with you guys because we love you. And in fact, this morning when we did Double Cup of Joe show, Static P was in the chat with us. So you might just get to chat with the P at the Double Cup of Joe show because he came. Cool. And you know what? Also, there are streams that happen on Twitch. Maybe we can get a link somewhere down there. I never have the Twitch link in front of me, so I can never post it. But if you go there and follow that, the BSS streaming Twitch channel, thank you, Princess. You will also get on Tuesday, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, there are gaming streams going on where you can hang out with Ryan and Jesse and Princess and Catsrook and anyone else who comes in the chat there. And I've been there a few times. It's a lot of fun. You can actually play games in the chat, which is totally not the same as YouTube. I want to like dual stream this show into the BSS streaming so people can like gamble their Potarts during Don't Worry Wednesday and Double Cup of Joe show. That would be great.
I think it's so distracting for people, but yeah. I know.
It's so fun.
You just want to earn. No, the truth is you just want to earn Potarts while you do this show.
Yes, Ryan's talking and I'll be like, Potarts.
Yeah.
I'm going to start a heist, I'm going to do a heist. And, right. Oh, yeah. And then I'll be like, yeah, Ryan, that was awesome what you were saying. I have no idea what it was because I was busy losing all my Potarts. So I'm so sorry. But,
all good. Yeah.
But at any rate, yes, it's great to see you guys. We are going to do this show now. And we got a bunch of you guys in the chat here tonight. But I am going to go through the list of names here. These are topics that we have hanging out, we've had for a while. And I just wanted to shout out the names for you guys. And if you hear your name, then feel free to say, what was the thing? What was the thing you're supposed to say? I forgot. Was that what your mom and dad? What's up with your mom and them?
Yeah. What's up with your mom and dad? What's up with your mom and him? Yeah, just throw what's up with your mom and him in chat if your name is called.
Yep. So, all right. So here's the list. Hyrule, Sumner Kagan, John Doe, Man Left Behind, Eric Bodine, Caffrey, Subaru, Amira, Wandering Soul, Matt, who also goes by Swilk, Luxoka, Sakura, Akil, Superstars 111, JTJ, Journey to Japan, and Nobody Important. So, what's up with you? You guys are awesome.
That's
I love
right.
it.
Was that with your mom and him?
Oh man, I love you guys. So anyway, all right. So I think we'll start probably with Wandering Soul. That's the first one on the list here. And it's great to see you here again, Wandering Soul. And we will. You are the first. So here we go. Princess has posted the link because Princess is amazing. And that link will take you to bss.studio, where if you click down below in the themes section, you can choose the dark theme, which is the best theme.
That's the one I picked.
That's the one I use. That's the one.
It's easy on the eyes.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And the logo is done by Swilk, amazing. And Jesse and Swilk worked together to put all that together. You guys, thank you so much. So
yeah.
Anyway, this is from Wandering Soul, from brain to Word document. And it goes like this. Hello, everyone. I hope you are all doing well and staying safe. My topic isn't quite as heavy as my previous ones. Woohoo, I have something positive to discuss. Or at least it isn't heavy in the same way. Allow me to explain. With how chaotic the world is becoming and the large gap of time at my disposal, I've decided to have another try at writing the story I've developed. I've thought up and wrote a lot of smaller projects, but this is the story. Came to me in a dream as a child, mentally walked through the environments countless times, developed the characters to their potential. It has become cathartic for me to think about this story and developing the world that's been trapped in my head for nearly half my life. And in the spirit of this, I got a couple writing ideals books with the goal of helping refine and polish my mental image before I lay my fingers to the keyboard. Things are definitely looking up. Plus, it's a great way to ensure that I don't spend the entirety of this time period on video games.
Nice.
So, what exactly do I ask from you all? I want to know your inspirations. What drives your creative works? What is it that pulls you to completing your vision? I'm already pretty motivated right now, but I'd like to hear others' processes that might differ from my own. Let me pick your brain for a bit.
Nice.
Wandering Soul, that is a great, great question. In fact, Ryan and I have had numerous conversations about this kind of stuff, the same exact thing, because it can be difficult, especially like once you get started. I think getting started is the hardest part. But then once you're started, it's kind of easy. But then somewhere along the line, depending on the length of the project, you're going to hit at a point where it's like, now the hard part is finishing it. Because, something happens, or, you get to the point where it's finished and then you got to do some editing. Like that's where the Criminal Idol book is at for me right now. It's like, I finished it. I was like, yes, it's done. And then I sent it. And then Ryan was like, oh, yeah, we got to fix some stuff. And I'm like,
Oh, you knew it was coming.
I did. I totally did. So, yeah. So then it's, then you might think you're finished and you're totally not quite finished yet. So then you got to go back and fix the little stuff and whatever. It just becomes, and finally, though, you will reach the point where it's done. And it's a glorious moment. But I want to turn it over to Ryan because I'm interested to hear what he has to say about this topic.
Sure.
So, yes.
Yeah, I like this topic. This is a fun topic. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for asking. You said you want to know our inspiration, what drives us in our creative works, and what is it that pulls us to completing it. It's kind of interesting. for me, on a lot of things, there's also, there's all sorts of different things. Okay. There's all sorts of different things that get me inspired to start something, right? It could be like, I could be like watching a show or something, right? And then all of a sudden something will just click in my mind and be like, oh my gosh, that would be a great idea, or some random melody or some music style just gets me going like, oh wow, I want to write a song like that. There's all sorts of different things, right? But that's kind of usually the inspiration to start. But everything else from that point is different. And what I mean is this: the overarching inspiration is different than the inspiration to start. I have a project that, like yours, I've developed an entire world. I haven't really shared any of it with anybody yet. I mean, people know about the concept in light, but there's like a whole world that I've created with different physics and defined sciences, special abilities that people have, and things like that, right? It's really cool. An entirely different world, different creatures and stuff like that. And I have this story and it's unraveling, and I've got this inspiration for it. I really would like to continue it. I've got so many other things on my plate, though. I've been continuously having to put it on hold. So it's on hold, but every once in a while I can touch it, right, and work at it. So I have a project like yours that it itself drives me to wanting to do it. But here's the thing. Joe was kind of hinting at this. Like any project out there comes a point where your inspiration starts to drain itself until it becomes nothing. Why? Because inspiration is an emotion. It's a reaction. And just like any emotion that's ever existed within your body, it fades with time. It fades with experience. Because our brains only have a certain amount of chemicals before it uses it up. Our brains only have so much interest before it becomes no longer interested. So at that point, you need a backup. You need a backup inspiration. And that's rather a foundation, a foundational inspiration, something that you have long set. The whole point of doing anything is this. For me, I have a lot of those, but mainly to kind of put them, to focus them into something. I've talked about on the show before, keeping the main thing, right? Mm-hmm. For me, it's how do I be a living example of God's love in the world, right? And when it comes to being creative and putting stuff out there, I get a chance to put something into the world, right? And so the thing that drives me is that foundation. Like, I have this ability, this talent. I need to keep on using it, even when I don't feel like doing it. Because outside of inspiration is my ultimate goal, right? And so I'm still trying to feed and get into my ultimate goal, which is to produce more stuff for people so that more people have things to do in their lives, right? Or more ways for me to affect them in their lives. So for me, if you've got a vision, you have to have for me, I have to have a vision that's beyond the product. Okay. A vision that's beyond the product. So no matter what company you're in, no matter what you're producing, if you are doing something that's designed to just be a part of the totality of everything, it's a lot easier to do that and finish it. Mm-hmm. Because if your whole focus is one product, it's very difficult to keep on going when times get tough, when your emotion's no longer there for it. Mm-hmm. So to have a goal that's far out there that just involves the product, like, yeah, this is just one step. This is just one step in it. Then you can, use your vision, and a goal, like you're saying, yeah, a vision and a goal. Now, if you've got that point you're reaching for, everything along the way is just stepping stones, mm-hmm. as opposed to my whole life is invested in this story. And so now, this is the biggest deal. Well, yeah, the problem with that is when you run out of energy, now what are you going to do? you start to lose interest. You start to just kind of like, I don't want to do it. And you put so much into it that when things kind of start to collapse, your whole life is set backwards. But when you've got like a vision where you just like, man, I want to change the world. Like, this is just one product of mine. I've got a lot coming, then whenever something like it's not little, but it's still kind of little in the grand scheme of things. When this project starts to collapse and like you don't have any drive for it anymore, you're still going, but I need to get over there. So I just have to finish this. And then you finish it, regardless of how you feel, because you're like, I'm still trying to get over there, trying to get to that vision. And there's not so much weight. See, when we put all our weight in one thing and it collapses, we fall, But if we're just pushing on it a little bit, right? We're walking and we're holding the walls or whatever. When one wall collapses, we don't fall all the way over, because we're still on our balance. We still have our vision in check. So it's the desire from my heart to help the world that keeps my vision on track. My vision is never, or my goal is never the product. It's what the product can do. Mm-hmm. My goal is not the story. It's what the story will do to the world. Does that make sense? That's what drives me. That's what keeps me to completing projects. So yeah. Anyways, hopefully I said that in a way that makes sense. It was kind of hard to flesh out, but anyways, I'm gonna give it over to Joe, and I'll make you guys see the penguins. Apparently, you guys were talking about it in chat. I don't know why.
The penguins, the Squishmallow penguins.
Yeah, sorry, they're totally not penguins.
I want a detective Squishmallow.
Nice.
Yes.
Good luck.
But Wandering Soul, I see some of your comments here. If I had to put a label to my vision, it would be to inspire other writers to create masterpieces with the intricacies that the truly epic stories have. My goal would be, to finish this story and then work on the others. That's wonderful. Like you are already thinking at a higher level than a lot of writers think, because many times, I mean, as a musician, I'm the same way, where for years, most of my goal as a musician was to just be a musician and to be a good musician myself, and to just create more music and be a better musician, just me being a musician. But only recently, not long ago, I've started to shift that focus to how can I raise up other musicians? How can we as Black Static and Swerve do that? How can I play a part in the promotion and education and training and just lifting up of other musicians and helping them shine as well, right? So because I think only through that, you create, then you really, I think you go beyond yourself and you have an impact on the art form as a whole. And in your case, it would be with writing. And I think that's tremendous, because you're showing your maturity level as a writer by already moving into that area. And I think that is super cool. But one thing that's interesting, I love what Ryan was saying, because he's talking about, your vision. What is your art? What is your writing going to accomplish in the world? That's a hugely important thing to help you get past, to help you stay motivated throughout a project. Because then if you can continue to look at that, then it's not just me finishing this thing. It's like me finishing this thing in order to do this other thing. And that can really, really help you go. And here's another thing that I've found helps me a lot. And I've experienced this today. It is Ryan and I had a tremendous conversation. It lasted for hours.
Yeah, we had a really good conversation though. So
it was great. And we were talking about all the BSS people that are listening to this, all the staffers. You guys are we got a new idea.
Yeah.
We got a new idea. Jeff, get your typing fingers ready.
Yeah. I don't. We'll go into that in the meeting, but
yeah.
but we're about to blow your minds.
Yeah, but we started coming up with some plans on, you know, what we can do and how we can move things and everything. And we were getting so excited about these next steps. And it's like, oh my gosh, this could be huge. And then at the end of the conversation, like towards the end of the conversation, I was talking to Ryan. I'm like, no, I got to go work on the book.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with it.
Like, I want to move on to this next step, but I got to finish what we started first. We got to finish the Kickstarter campaign product. We got to finish that out and get all that delivered and get that out there and have that release. We got to do all that. At least everything we can do to finish that first, because you know what, there have been times when I've started projects and not finished them, and those are real sore spots for me. I don't like that, and I try to. It's been an affirmation of mine for a while. Yes, I do affirmations in the mornings a lot, where, you know, I basically talk to myself and kind of try to program myself to be a certain way. And one of those things is I'm a finisher. I finish things that I start, because I haven't always done that in my life. And it's really been hard on my self-esteem when I don't finish things, when I start things and I think, yeah, it's going to be great and everything. And I start it and I get down the road and then I don't finish. And what happens then, I've noticed the result is stress, depression, disappointment in myself, low self-esteem, all kinds of things like that. And when I do finish, it's the opposite. Like my self-esteem goes up, my confidence goes up, you know, like all of those things, and my depression level goes down. There's this confidence and happiness and joy and high self-esteem that comes with being a finisher. So one thing you can do to motivate yourself is figure out what comes next after this story. What's your next step going to look like? Because Ryan and I, when we talked, we kind of clarified that a lot, at least in our minds. And, you know, it's, and it was like, whoa. And so now I'm like, when I sat down, when I finally after I did all my work for the day and everything, and I got to sit down and work on what I needed to do on the book, it was like, there was no time for hemming and hawing. It was just like, we got to get this done. We're getting it done. We're getting it done. And I'm not trying to sacrifice quality. In fact, the things right now that I'm doing are, you know, kind of cleaning up quality issues from before. So it's like, I got to get all this done. It's just like, get it done. Because I want to move on to this next phase as quickly as possible. And, but I got this standing in my way, and it becomes this barrier where it's like, I'm going to attack it, and I'm going to attack it until it's gone, because I can't wait to move on to the next thing. And so that can be, for me, that's such a tremendous source of motivation. And so I'd encourage you to do that. And if you have other people you can talk to, that helps too. Especially if you have people that you can partner up with in some of these things. I know writing can be a very individual thing, like where it's, you know, you're doing it. But a lot of times writers, I know, having listened to people like authors talk about their books and everything like that, where they're like, yeah, if I hadn't had deadlines and a publisher and an agent like keeping me on track, then I'd have never finished this book.
Yeah. Like
deadlines drive the process. And so if you can impose deadlines upon yourself, that's wonderful, because then you might not always hit them. And, you know, when you don't hit a deadline, it's not time to beat yourself up, but at least it's there, something to strive for, so that you can keep the process moving along. And, you know, if you miss a deadline, you just reset it. You don't get down on yourself. You just are like, okay, I missed that deadline. Okay, no big deal. I'm going to regroup. I think I can finish it by this time. So I'm going to set this new deadline, and that's what I'm going to run after. And I'm going to push to hit that deadline, and then and do the best you can. And that's all part of running after goals. It's something that I did when I was younger very, very well. And then I lost sight of how to do that for many years. And now I'm starting to figure that out again. And it's fun. It's fun to run after a goal. Even when you feel like you're going to not hit it, it's fun because you have this energy. You're like, yeah, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it done. And then I'm going to move on to the next thing, and it's going to be great. So those things, I mean, to try and impose deadlines upon yourself, that can keep you motivated. To be excited, like Ryan was talking about the vision of where this is going, what this project that you're working on is going to do for the world, that's huge. And yeah, I would just encourage you, try that stuff. Try it. Try and remain focused, and take some time every day to be focused on that vision. Take some time. I would recommend right when you get up and right before you go to bed. Take some time and think about your vision. What's it going to be like when you reach it? What's it going to feel like? What's it going to smell like? What's it going to taste like? All your senses, get them all involved. What's going to feel the best about it? And then what kind of a difference is it going to make to other people in the world? Start to think about that. You start to think about what's going to feel so great for me when I hit this. And the next step is, what's it going to do for others? How is this going to impact people around me? How is this going to impact writers in general? And then I would take it one step further, and I would think of at least one thing you can do to bring that vision closer. And then write that thing down and put it on a to-do list of some kind, where it's like, okay, what can I do immediately that's going to bring that vision closer? Write it down so you don't have to think. I mean, we all have plenty of things we got to do throughout a day. And sometimes if you think I got to do this right now, you're going to skip out on something important, right? But just write it down so at least you have it and you won't forget it. And then I usually take some time and kind of like arrange the things I need to do and figure out what I need to do, like what order I need to do things in. And you can totally put it right in there where it belongs in your day. And at the nighttime end of it, write it down so that it's there for you when you get up in the morning, and you can look at it and you be like, all right, this is the thing I'm going to do today, and it's going to be awesome. So I would give that stuff a try, Wandering Soul, and I hope some of that can be helpful. Ryan, did you have any other thoughts?
No, not really. I just want to say, yeah, if you can, I know that you talked about this in the chat, Wandering Soul, but if you can find somebody you feel like you can trust and work alongside, it does make a big difference. Because even if it's just like you have someone who's not working on the story, but you can bounce ideas off of, it makes a big difference. It can get you excited. They can come up with weird, wacky ideas that don't fit in the story, but it gets your brain thinking, you know? Or sometimes they'll say something and it's like, you know what? Actually, that sounds like a really good step. That might be what I do next. So that kind of stuff, it can get you going again. It can make you feel excited again. Being able to talk about it and share it, and then having someone get into it with you is really good. Because like nothing's ever finished until it's out into the world, right?
Yes.
That's the thing. Like, it's not a finished product until there are people reading it, and it's like on the table for people to buy or whatever. So
it's funny you say that, because I was like, I finished the book. Nope, it's not public yet.
Oh yeah, right. You finished having to deal with the creative side of the work.
Yes. I finished a step of the process.
Yep. So it's important to finish things, because here's the thing. Finishing something, so you have a talent thing, like maybe you're a talented writer, or maybe you're talented at coming up with ideas. Maybe you're talented at drawing art or whatever, right? Starting a project and get it going, that's a talent. Finishing a product or project is a completely different talent. Finishing is a talent of its own, and you learn that talent by doing it, like you do anything. You learn to play the piano by playing the piano. You learn to get good at finishing projects by finishing projects. The more time you spend finishing things, the better you get at going through the process of getting things finished. So the first several times you finish something, it's really going to be difficult. Most likely, you're not going to finish in a situation where you're like motivated the entire way through. It's going to be a roller coaster of ups and downs, and that's normal. So when you get to a spot where you're like, man, like, where's my motivation? Where's my inspiration? Like, where's it all going? You know, I feel like I don't even want to work on it. I just want to like throw it away, you know? When you get to that point, recognize yourself and understand that's normal. That's what a lot of people go through. And the only way we ever get over that feeling, and the only way we make that feeling worth it, is when we just go through it and finish it. Because here's the thing. One last thing that you said, what drives my creative works and pulls me into completing it? One last thing helps. When I feel like not doing something, I know the thing I need to do is just do it. And here's what happens. Like, I don't want to touch that song. But then I open up the and I give it a listen and I start working on stuff. And then after a few minutes, it's been like a whole hour and I've been working on it. I'm like, whoa, an hour just went by? I've been working on this. How did that happen? You know, like all of a sudden I get inspired again because I start working on it again. So when you ever get to a point where you're just like, I want to give up, I can't think of anything, I'm dead, you know, in this whole area is just like yeah. Sometimes you have to give it a break. But just for a few days. Don't even touch it. Don't touch it. Don't think about it. Don't wear your brain out. Come back to it a few days later and then start working on it. Pick up your pencil, start writing your ideas down. If you've got nothing to write yet, just write your ideas. Like, okay, this is where I'm trying to take the story. This is the predicament they're in. You know, you start writing that down. All of a sudden your brain's going to start picking up speed again. And then your creative juices will start flowing again, because we're all human. We all have a certain amount of resources in our brain that get eaten. They're chemicals, and our creativity can die down. And just understand when that happens, recognize that that's normal, and then take a short break and come back to it with more energy. But when you come back to it, don't come back to it with a sense of, man, I'm a failure. I can't write a story. You know, don't come back to it with that sense of being drained, like you're not good enough, like you're not someone who can finish the project. You need to come back with it with understanding, okay, now I'm going to start working on it again and I'm going to get this thing done. You know, I might not finish it on the next day, of course, but I'm going to start cruising. And it's not about like, don't shame yourself. Just keep on working at it and get it done, because the project is not equivalent to who you are. The project comes from you, but it isn't what you are. It's a gift that you give. You know, when you give someone, you know, a brand new pair of shoes, those shoes aren't what you are. You're just giving shoes to people. That's cool, right? They get to wear them. That's nice for them. And it's the same thing when you do a project. That project, it might come from you, right? It might come from your hard work, just like buying shoes, but it isn't you. So don't get down on yourself when you're looking at the project and not knowing what to do next. Or if you're feeling bad, you haven't made as much progress as you were hoping. Don't spend any time getting down on yourself and being mad at yourself, because there's no point in that. The only way you're going to move forward is if you continue to uplift yourself, so that when you go to the story, you have that motivation. Motivation doesn't work well when you are upset with yourself. Like those two, like they Like either one usually triumphs over the other. You're either like, man, I'm super motivated. No one ever goes like, man, I'm super motivated, but I hate myself. This is awesome. Right? Like that's not like those two feelings conflict. So uplift yourself for the project and then begin work on the project. And then when you see some progression in the project, because now all of a sudden you're invested in it, only use your progression to go like, yeah, this is great. I'm getting something done. Don't go, man, I wish I was further, because you just aren't. And that's just the way it is. And that's okay. Just keep on plugging away at it. You'll get there. I think that's important. Also, the last thing is understand you're capable. So many times people start something or they don't even try, because they just think they're not capable. They're like, oh, I'm not good enough for that. I don't know enough information to even start that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I've found? Time and time again, anytime I don't know the information about something, the faster I just dive in and start doing something, yeah, I mess things up, but the faster something actually starts happening and moving forward, and the faster I start to be excited about it. And it's like, wow, this is actually turning into something. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be afraid to dive in. Don't be afraid to just start. Whether it be after you take a break or even just right now. It's okay to just be like, all right, I'm going to start. And while this isn't the appropriate beginning of this story, I'm going to just start it and I'll go back to it later and refine it. But starting, just whenever you have that chance, just start, because that's how you get it done. Anyways,
Yeah.
That's
Wandering Soul, you said, I will admit I've been feeling a little trapped in a this is my magnum opus story mentality. That makes me a little bit worried for its impact. Viewing it as a gift is a good idea, and that's absolutely correct. And one of the things that always interests me about magnum opuses, opie,
opie, I think.
opie,
I don't know. Magnum opie.
Magni opie.
Magna. It's Latin, so we don't do magnum opus. It says, I don't think it's plural. I don't know the plural version of Latin stuff.
Yeah. So, but anyway,
Or is it Greek?
I don't know if
it's Greek.
Yeah, either way. I always wonder if an author realizes it while they're creating their magnum opus, or if that's just something that's assigned to it later by scholars who study that person's work. Mm-hmm. So to me, I think we do a lot better if we take our work seriously, but not too seriously. Not so seriously that, we think it's a huge deal that we need to, just make every little detail perfect and then work on it and work on it and work on it for decades before we ever make it public. I think there comes a point when it's like, hey, this is good enough. We're going to make it public. And then I'm going to move on to the next one, because the next one, I'm going to just improve on the next one. Ryan has been so impressive to me in that regard, because that's what he's done. If you listen to the Criminal Idol series, you will hear a continuous progression of quality of songs, as the series has progressed. And that's totally Ryan. Because like, while I'm sitting there trying to make this one song perfect for like 11 years, he's releasing songs and improving every single one of them and creating a great entire storyline and a project like that we can use for, now there's going to, we're talking about season 2. We're talking about, what is possible and what opportunities can we create for people, voice actors and story writers and all kinds of stuff with all of this. I mean, it's this whole big, huge thing. And it all is because Ryan was like, you know what? I'm just going to release this. And then I'm going to work on the next one. And I'm going to release that one. And then I'm going to work on the next one and release that one. And it wasn't going to be a story in the beginning.
Right.
And then it became one. And it's amazing how all these little twists and turns happen just because he decided to finish these and release them. And then he took cues from the community and created this amazing thing that we experience as the Criminal Idol season 1. And that can happen here for you too, Wandering Soul. Like, yeah, take your time, do a good job, but then also finish. Because you never know where it's going to take you. You never know what this might just be book one of a whole series of books that each one becomes a bestseller. You never know. So I'd encourage you, keep at it and keep coming back. And if you want to share any of what you have, we'd love to, experience it. So keep it up. You're amazing.
If you want to share and post segments of it in the, like, not the full version, but like segments or whatever, samples of it on our website, we would love that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But anyways,
so thank you so much for posting, Wandering Soul. Hopefully that was helpful. And I'm glad to hear that you're moving forward and not just deciding to use this time to play video games and entertain yourself, but you're going to use it productively, which is huge. Absolutely huge. Because a lot of the world is just going to be entertained during this time, when it's the perfect time to do something creative. It's the perfect time to get something started, because we have this time on our hands. It's great. So anyway, we should move on to the next topic. Thanks again, Wandering Soul. And what do we have next?
Yeah, we did get one in the chat. Rain Night. Thank you for adding one for us.
Yes, thank you. And next,
Swilk is here.
Swilk is here, and he's next in line. So let's do that one. Princess posted, you didn't know you were gonna have your Here am I. Yes, you didn't realize you were gonna have your topic read, did you? And you chimed in just now. By the way, Swilk, this is the guy that designed the Swilk theme and the dark theme, the logo, and everything. I mean, this is the guy. So everybody give him some thanks. I give you very much thanks. You did a great job. Thank you so much. Great job. Thank you, Swilk, for your hard work. But anyway, all right. So here is the topic. It's called One-on-One. And it says, so I've been way more active in social groups since the last post I did online, friends, but I'm still facing a couple problems. Honestly, as I'm writing this, it sounds like a pretty dumb problem to have, but there are moments when I'm genuinely perplexed by this, so I'm just going to write it out. You see, I'm a big fan of sincerity and sincere relationships. Lately, I've joined a couple Discord servers, but the problem I have there is that people tend to be more performative and careful about what they say, and not nearly everyone is as ready to share as I am. I don't know, it's not a big problem, but I would love to have more one-on-one friendships and conversations with people who are ready to be sincere. And not everyone is, and I get that. But how do I start one-on-one chats with someone like that? Do I just ask? It's such a weird thing for me, though I'm probably just overthinking it. And right now, I'm content with not having those friends. But there are moments where I really wish I had some. That being said, if anyone has the sincere want to have a nice open chat with me, contact me on Discord at Swilk2081. Thank you for reading, Matt. Thank you for posting, Matt. And also sharing your Discord, whatever you call that number thing. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Thank you.
Tag.
And tag. Thank you. So yeah, I bet you in this community you would find some people that'd be willing to have a one-on-one friendship with you. And I know. Yeah. So lots of people would be glad to get to know you. But yeah, this is definitely one of those things where it is kind of disheartening when you see so much just surface level stuff going on. I saw that a lot at my kids' school that they go to. A lot of the parents, it's you just got, when you hang out there, you get this, you left a social event and everybody was so surfacey. You just got you left and you're like, bleh, like I feel like I'm just covered in everybody's nonsense. Like, like no, I couldn't have an in-depth conversation with anybody, you know, and it was hard. But you know, since then I've found there are some people that I've been able to connect with and actually talk to and get to know, and it's been good. But that can be a tough thing, at least to break into it first. But then once you start, it tends to go a lot easier. So Ryan understands how to do this online way better than I do. So I'm sure he has some tremendous nuggets of wisdom to share with you. So Ryan,
I'll try.
Share your nuggets.
Yeah. Swilk, I love this. This is a great topic. First, I'm a big fan of one-on-ones. I'm a big fan of getting down and getting, you know, invested in a person, having intimate sort of discussions, you know, something that it really tells me like about them as a person, about them as a human being, their soul, what drives them, deeper discussions, whether it be political, how you choose to live your life, what you do in certain situations, things that drive you, you know, all this stuff. I love that. I love those conversations. You and I are very much alike in this. There are people out there who don't want to have those conversations, right? You said that. There are people who it's not natural for them to have those conversations, and to have that conversation is so foreign for them. It's really difficult to even like try to figure out how to respond to those conversations. So unfortunately, like you said, you know, not everybody's going to have or going to sort of reflect what you want in that kind of field. You know, I'm a kind of person that likes to have conversations with one person at a time. I'm not a big fan of conversing with many people at once. Some people, that's what they like. They like being in crowds. They like being like with a lot of people, and having a blast and having a lot of fun. And when it gets onto a one-on-one, they're just out of place. They're nervous and they don't know what to do with themselves. So there's all sorts of different personalities that play into this whole thing, right? But the thing is, to answer your question, you know, you can have those one-on-ones with those people that are more out there and always want to have like a bunch of people around, right? You can have those conversations and it's always really wonderful. And they start to enjoy them as well. But they have to get into them before they realize that they can enjoy them. And likewise, us people who like the one-on-ones can find that we really like to be around a bunch of people having fun every once in a while. But we have to kind of get accustomed to it and embrace it before it starts to actually work with us. We have to kind of go through that awkward time. So anyways, how do you get started with a one-on-one chat like that? How do you get into that situation where you can actually talk about those things and be sincere? Here's my method. I start usually with interest. Like, so obviously the beginning of any conversation is hi or hey, you know, that's super surface level. That's like the surface, the highest level of surface you can get, right? And then you start digging a hole, right? From there. So you're like, hey, how's it going? Oh yeah. And then you bring up a topic and it's going to be a surface level topic. You know, how are things, what are you doing with this project? You know, or maybe not a project, but like, when's the last time, like seriously, do not shy away from asking really weird random questions. Like, when's the last time you jumped in a pool? You know, when's the last time you went swimming? And they'll be like, oh, geez, man, it was like years ago at a hotel or whatever. Like, and then you just start up a conversation with that. Like, oh man, I love going to hotels and just swimming. I remember doing that as a kid. Like, I haven't done that in so long. You know, you're having a conversation with somebody, right? And then from that point, once you've established a conversation, you've both had your back and forth, right? At that point, you can take something from that conversation, whatever it is, any point, which you think can open up into that person's deeper self. So when you have it, you go through a surface level conversation, you try to get a little personal, and then you take a nugget from their comments and you go, okay, this is the point I'm going to press on. So, let's say during their conversation, like, man, I went, like, as a kid, I used to go to, hotels with my dad when we travel. And yeah, we would go swimming at the swimming pool or whatever, right? And then you're like, okay, that's interesting. You continue the conversation, and then you can go, okay, so from what he said, I can start asking questions that are a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper, and a little bit deeper. So then you ask a question like, what's your opinion on, or what do you think about this? So, and you do that in a sort of back and forth sharing wisdom kind of thing. Like, I've always found that a good parent, so you have that conversation, right? And then you go like, okay, this is their dad they're just talking about, that spending time with. And you can ask like, oh, that's really interesting. What were you and your dad doing? Why were you guys out? Why were you traveling? Is your dad and you a pretty good terms still? Like, is that do you talk to him still often? And then they'll have information, right? But then you can continue that and be like, I've always felt like a good parent is someone who blah 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 blah. And then they're gonna be, because now you've entered into I've always felt, or I have an opinion. They might combat it, or they might agree. Try to pick ones that they agree with, of course. They might go like, oh, no, I would completely disagree. I think that it's really good if they do this. Or, oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree. Like, that's like my dad used to do that. And I appreciated that so much. Right. Now you're starting to get a little bit deeper into the conversation. If they disagree with you, agree with their disagreement to a degree. Always give them slack, right? So if they disagree with your opinion, and openly ask their opinions, because if you give your thoughts first, if you give your wisdom first, if you give your heart first, you put yourself on the line first, it's going to make it a lot easier for them to put themselves on the line. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you should do it first. You should give your like, oh, I actually had this experience where blah, 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 and it really taught me this lesson. What do you think? Or have you ever gone through something like that? Right. And when they relay their information, even if it's something like, wow, that was a really obscure way to look at it, or that, you can, instead of like saying that, what you want to do is you want to edify them. Why? You have to reward their behavior of relaying their intimate or sincere thoughts. And by rewarding that behavior, you actually get to know them more and more, because then they start to feel more and more open. So you reward people and their opinions by being interested in them and going, really, that's fascinating. I've never thought that way before. Can you explain that? How do you come to like realize that? Right? Even if it's something you don't agree with. When you ask them more questions about that sort of subject, you're rewarding them, and they feel good for sharing that with you, because now they feel like they're making a friend. They get to put themselves on the line and be appreciated for who they are and their own thoughts and their own life experiences, right? So that is how, hopefully you can follow all that. That's how you get from introductionary level of like one-on-one, just open up with a, hey, any kind of question, be silly. Honestly, the more silly you can be, the better. Just be ridiculously silly, right? Because that opens people up to comedy, right? And it's silly, and they're like, what's this guy going on about? He's weird, right? But then from that moment, now you've established, you started talking, and then you can move on and you can start digging deeper and deeper and deeper through the conversations. So don't be afraid to like start up a conversation and be like, hey, I noticed that your name is this, and that's Japanese for this. and they're gonna be like, yeah, I picked that name. It's like, okay, cool, yeah, well, we know why. Like, so basic, right? Not very silly. But then, alternatively, you can go, hey, did you know cats grow teeth on their tongue? And they're gonna be like, what? What? Really?
I learned
Like,
that recently.
yeah, it's true, And that's a conversation starter. It's weird, but it's a conversation starter. And then you can go even more silly. You can be like, hey, I just flipped a donkey upside down. What do you have to say about that? And they're gonna be like, I don't know what to say about that. What do you even mean you flipped the donkey upside down? And you're like, I just made that up. I'm sorry, I lied. I had no idea what I'm trying to say. Anyways, how you doing? Right? It does not matter how you start a conversation. Doesn't. It's a matter of how you continue it. And you can draw it out. Joe has some great examples of how you draw out conversations. He's the one that taught me by his example. But yeah, getting into those, because I totally feel you on this topic. So I appreciate deep, invested conversations where you actually get at the heart of a person. And there's nothing better than that. There's nothing more fulfilling in a conversation than that. So, yeah, hopefully that helps. I'm going to pass it over to Joe. He's going to give you some great tips as well.
I don't know if I can top your tips there, Ryan. I was very much engaged but I don't know about engaging people online so much. I am very fortunate to be involved in this community. I was kind of brought here and introduced through Ryan and everything. And so like when I go to a community where they know Ryan, people know me because they see those letters CDVNL and they're like, oh yeah, it's that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Love him or hate him, we know who he is. Like, but you can say something like, how Sakura said, you can always ask how much a polar bear weighs. That reminds me of something I heard once where it's like, grizzly bears, grizzly bears, like millions and millions of salmon are attacked by grizzly bears every year.
Just straight out attacked.
Salmon attacks on grizzly bears are far more rare. And that's true.
That's true.
And it's weird and it might be kind of dumb, but hey, you know what? That's okay. What the thing that I kind of stumbled a cut. Now I'm talking about person to person interaction where like, you meet a person out in the world, right? And you could probably apply this to some degree online as well. I mean, I think the statement I stumbled upon kind of by accident was my icebreaker is, hey, you having fun today? I know people who have used all kinds of different icebreakers, whatever, but I like that one. And the reason I like, are you having fun today, is because it can go either way and you can still make it a positive. Like I'll be at the gas station, right? And I'll go up to the counter and I'll have my chips and my Mountain Dew or whatever, I'll go there and be like, hey, you having fun in here today? And they're like, and sometimes they'll just look up at me because they're having just this horrible day.
Yeah. It happens.
And they just give me this look like, are you out of your mind right now? Like, and so then I'll say something like, wow, more than you can handle must be, huh? Like, it's more fun than you can handle. I said it. In fact, I was at Walmart the other day and I just straight out asked the lady at the checkout line, I was like, so are you having more fun than you can stand yet? And she laughed and she was like, oh yeah, it's a riot in here, let me tell you. It was like 8 a.m. and there was nothing going on, right? Yeah. But that, something to that variation where like, because it causes people to think like, am I having fun? Maybe I can, yeah, this could be fun. I'm having fun doing nothing, or no, I'm not having fun at all. And then what that is an open door to talk about whatever they say next. So you say, you having fun in here today? They're like, oh no, man, it's terrible. Oh, really? Wow, what's terrible? Well, I got to do this, I got to do that, then I got to be over here, and then I can't believe it. My ex-boyfriend, blah, 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 this and that, da, 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 da. And it's like, okay. Now what you've done is you've opened the door to a conversation that they have this idea in their head that you're a caring individual, because you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're trying to just be, fake. You really want to talk to this person. And so what you do then, so after the icebreaker, you listen for signposts, because they will guide the conversation. Your job is to pay attention to what they say. And when they say something that you could ask another question about, boom, you ask a question about that. And then you then are guiding the conversation along with them, because they're giving you the cue, but then you are picking where to take the conversation based on what they say. So then you can really, really get deep into a conversation quickly by just paying attention to what other people say and asking about it, or asking them to go more into depth about it, or or just really, that's the key. Because Ryan has said it many times on here, the key to like having a relationship or being in good standing with people, it's not about how impressed they are with you. It's about how impressed they are with themselves when you're around.
Mm-hmm.
So your job, Swilk, is not to be impressive and interesting to these people that you meet online. Your job is to be impressed and interested by them. And then you can go deep into a conversation and deep into friendship with somebody very, very quickly, mm-hmm. based on that premise right there.
Yeah, make it a point to point out the things you're impressed over.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Or if you can find those moments like Ryan was talking about, with the whole pool idea, like when was the last time you swam in a pool? It is, when you can have a me too moment with somebody, that immediately, builds a bond. Might not be a super strong bond, but it is a bond of sorts where you can be like, oh, I had that experience too. If you can, when you have those moments in a conversation, that right there deepens the relationship. Every time you have something like that going. Now, it can't be fake. It's got to be real, because we're talking about sincerity here, right? So you can't just be fake about it, because then eventually, I mean, if you're fake about it, eventually they find you out.
Yeah.
Eventually you will run out of things to say about the thing, and they will realize that you lied about that Me Too moment. Like, So with all that said, you can apply that online. I would go back and listen to what Ryan said again, multiple times, because he gave you so much practical, good advice on what to do in an online conversation. Like that is stuff that I can use now wherever I go, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. Here's the mentality I want you to have while you do this. And that is, don't be upset if somebody like blows you off or shuts down a conversation or leaves or whatever, because not everybody's going to respond that way. Not everybody's going to respond good. I mean, even still, I ask people if they're having fun, and then they might ignore me half the time, or they might just kind of grunt and whatever, who knows? Like, sometimes people are just having a bad day. You got to allow people the freedom to have a bad day and leave them alone. It's okay. Because sometimes that's just the way it goes. You're not gonna dig deep into a conversation with everybody. And just because it didn't work at some point in time That doesn't mean that there was something wrong with what you did. It means that you probably just caught them at a bad time in their life of what was going on. So it's okay. So armed with that mentality, it's a lot easier, because I didn't have that mentality. I I was treating people like computers. Like I should be able to say this thing and I should be able to get a good response every time, or at least some kind of a deep response. This should happen. This is how people are. This is what I read. This is how people are. So I should be able to just automatically apply this principle every single time and it work out every single time. And you know what? It doesn't. Because people, yes, there's human nature that we're kind of dancing with in conversations. And it's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? We all have moments where we're not 100% ourselves. We all have moments where our minds we're focused on somewhere else right now. You know, right now it's amazing. Like I'll go out into public, and because of the lockdowns and everything, I mean, everybody's like staying away from people, and it's like people don't even want to look at you. Like I try and make eye contact just to smile at people, and you know, like kind of do the little head nod, you know, like, hey, how's it going, you know, whatever. But people are avoiding contact, or like eye contact. Not just physical contact, but eye
Don't
contact.
Look at me.
Like I'm gonna get sick if you look at me. Like, no, it's yeah. But that's the way things are right now, and it's okay. And you know what? You're gonna run into people in chat rooms, and you're gonna run into people in real life where they're just having an off day, or that moment they're thinking about something else. They're not even paying attention, and you know, it's okay. It's okay.
Yep.
You just move on, try again. You've got 5 billion conversations to start from now until, you know, next year. You know, some of them are going to be good, some are going to be not so good, some are going to end almost before they start, and it's okay. You just move on and try again with somebody else. And before you know it, you're going to have some really great friendships with people. And then you're going to go to the gas station and you're going to have your chips and your Mountain Dew, and you're going to put it on the counter. And then what you're going to notice is, because you've said, hey, how are you having fun today, to this one particular person, you know, multiple times, now they want to sit there and talk to you, and you just want to leave. But you're polite, so you sit there, and then you watch the line grow behind you. Like all these people are wanting to get their chips and Mountain Dew, you know, at the gas station. And like now you're holding up the line because they wanted to talk to you more, because now they like you and they want to be your friend. And it's great. It's wonderful. But, you know, then comes the time. All right, how do I tactfully end the conversation?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Like, how do I do that? And that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, it's a whole nother animal.
Like, because sometimes you just say, man, I love hanging with you. I love hearing what you got to say, but I really got to go. I'm so sorry. Next time I come in, I want to hear more about that, you know, or something. You know, I mean, you can always.
Yeah, that's a really sweet way to do it. Yeah.
Graciously bow out, you know, and I would always generally say something about, next time we talk, let's talk about that, because then what you've done is you've set up the next conversation. And so next time you see each other online or in person, you know, you can kind of pick right up where you left off. And you can ask them about that, and you can remember it, or whatever. And you can just say, hey, you know, how did that thing go? And, you know, then you have the conversation starter for the next one. And before you know it, you've got a whole long list of friends. And they're good friends. They like you, you like them, and you know, you guys are close, each in your own way. You know, each relationship is a little bit different, but it's way fun, and life is so much better when you have friends. It really is. And all it takes in the beginning is just listening and paying attention to other people. And you'll find yourself in a new place just by doing that. So anyway, that's what I got for you, Swilk, and hopefully some of that was helpful. Ryan, did you have anything else?
No, I think we about covered it. I wish you the best, Swilk. Yeah, it's not too hard. It's really just about being open to, like Joe said, don't sweat it if things aren't going the way you're trying to make them go.
Mhm.
You'll find more times than not, you'll get into that conversation that's deep.
Mhm.
Um, and here's the thing, like when you, like I said, when you experience any bit of that deep conversation, you have to reward them. Let them know that you're really enjoying yourself around them, things like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Um, and anything they say that's deep, you just weigh in on it and be like, that's awesome. Where'd you get that idea from? Or go, me too,
Mhm.
just like Joe said, because that shares a bond, right?
Mhm.
That's how you liven up and incorporate. That's how you get people to be more open with you. Yeah, because yeah, it's awesome. I love having those deep conversations. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
yeah. So anyways, with that, let's go to the next one. Thank
Yeah,
you,
let's
Swoop.
do that. Swilg,
Awesome.
and I appreciate Swilg. Thank you for the conversations, the deep conversations you've had with Jesse and the work you guys have done
Mm.
um, on
Yeah.
the bss.studio website. Man, how do we end this conversation
Uh,
now?
we'll talk about that next time we talk. How to end a conversation. Yeah.
You know what? I found a way to end a conversation with Ryan today, actually.
Oh yeah.
I did. Just hang up the phone
Yeah.
and tell him that my phone died.
Oh, my phone died.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. My phone. It was funny. Like I was out doing inspections and I was talking to Ryan, and all of a sudden, like I was in the middle of kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and I had him on my phone, and my battery was starting to die, and I was taking pictures of a house at the same time with the same phone, and all of a sudden, gone.
Hmm.
My phone just shut itself off.
Jeez. Yeah.
And I was like, really? Now? Because we were just ramping up, man. We were ramping up to talk about some important stuff. And then all of a sudden, boom, gone. I'm like, dang it. So then it took me a few minutes to
Yeah.
get him back. But
Happens.
yep, that kind of stuff happens. So sometimes technology ends your conversations for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Be thankful.
Yep. So anyway, all right. What's next? Let's take a look. Princess, who's next? Amira, are you still here? Amira, if you're here, say what's up with your mom and them.
What's up with your mom and him? Wait, Luxoka's here.
Yep, Lux is here. Well, the only reason I say Amira is because Amira is up above.
Oh, she is. Yeah. Okay. You're right. You're right.
Up above there. So that's why I wanted to give a shout to Amira real quick because
Yeah.
she technically would come next if she's still around. So I'll give her a second to see if she's still here. Let's
What's up with your mom and him? Oh,
what's up?
JTJ is claiming that they are Amira.
Oh, what's up with your mom and them?
Yeah, he gave a solid what's up your mom and him.
Solid.
Yep.
Solid. uh, so how you doing,
All right.
Ryan?
We're doing awesome.
You look really
Good day.
good.
Thank you. You too. You look very wow. You got a lot of dark clothing on, but you look
I
good.
do. Yes. So
I
you can
like
see
dark
my
clothing.
face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I tell you, it is amazing. Today is one of those fateful days. I'll explain this while we give Amira a minute to notice. I have a workout program. Like it's basically set up in 8 weeks, and every 2 weeks it gets a little bit more difficult. And today was day 1 of another 2-week cycle, and so it's just like, whoa, all right, time to go lay down.
Yeah.
Ended up taking a bunch of naps today. It was great. So
I actually did too. Because well, of course, I was up this morning.
yeah, I imagine you were still up.
Yes, I was still. I didn't wake up this morning to come to the Double Cup of Joe. I was still awake. Actually, me and Frost had been talking at that time, and then I took a nap like after that, and then I got up when you called, which was about 4 hours later. then we talked for a while. I did some stuff, and then I took like a 15-minute nap just before the this Don't Worry Wednesday again, because I was like, man, I am tired. I should go try to refuel myself. Happens. Some days are just like that.
Yeah, but it was great to see you on Double Cup of Joe. It was great. It was great to see Joe. I see Joe, Joseph Bohan. I saw his. He said some stuff here in this chat, so he's here. The star of the Double Cup of Joe show.
That's right,
Joseph Bohan.
If you guys don't know him, you ought to get to spend more time with him because he's amazing. Frost fell asleep in the middle. That's okay, dude. It was late. It was like super late, so.
You know, I have to drink like tons of water and coffee in order to do that show because that's because that's just it's that time of the day, man. It's like I gotta excite myself like with coffee or something. But
I would suggest eating like taking a spoon and just getting out a scoop of coffee grounds.
Yeah, like Gomez that. From the Addams Family.
Yeah. A spoonful of coffee grounds helps the energy wake up.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So, all right. Well, it doesn't look like one day for Double Cup of Joe show. Joe and Joe need to wear thing 1 and thing 2 shirts.
Oh no.
That would be great.
That's outrageous. If one day they do that, it's gonna be so funny.
Oh yeah. Fun. All right, Lux, you are up. We're gonna do this one that Luxoka calls "I'm Out of It."
I'm out of it.
Princess has posted the link.
Thank you.
Thanks, Princess. You're the best. All right, so Luxoka, I'm out of it, and it goes like this. Can you tell me how I can become more motivated to do anything? Because recently I've been out of it almost constantly, and it sucks because I want to have fun. I feel like I've grown a lot as a person over the past year. I've gone from the deepest, darkest mental state in my life and turned it into the brightest and happiest mindset I've ever had, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
But recently I have been losing my motivation for everything, and I'm becoming less happy. I feel like I'm less of a person, and I'm always doing things wrong. I don't want to go back to how I used to be. I want to keep improving and making other people proud, but I have no clue how I can get my motivation back. Any advice on this? Yes, I am sure we can come up with something for you because I've been in this situation. What?
I said one of us, probably not me. So
probably not you. Yeah, because Ryan never loses his motivation ever.
That's not true
sure.
At all.
He totally is always the pinnacle of motivation all the time. And so like when I talk to him, like he just always brings me back to life. So what you need, actually, my best advice would be to give you Ryan's phone number.
Ooh, he has my Discord.
Okay, perfect. That's even better. You can do a private call on Discord. Just call him.
There you go. That's how you get motivated.
He might be doing something. Yeah, just talk to Ryan. Speaking of Ryan, he's here and he's going to say some great stuff.
Oh, hi. How you guys doing? I'm here today. No. So this is an interesting thing. Luxoka, I want to say first of all, you are not by any means the only person to go through this. And by that, I mean you are literally this is completely normal. Everybody goes through this. Every single person in their entire life, as long as they live more than a few seconds, they go through this. All right. We all, I think, there's a lot of things that we can discuss here. One thing that's important to remember is that, well, we have a cycle. We are humans and we have natural cycles. People have sleep cycles. People have all sorts of cycles, right? Because we have things going on in our brains. And one of those cycles is, for some reason, kind of like the cycle of, man, I don't want to do anything. I can't get myself up to do anything. Like, I just don't feel like doing anything. Nothing interests me right now. I literally just don't. Doing nothing isn't interesting to me, But doing anything else is also just not interesting. Everything is just meh. Okay, if you feel like that, welcome to normal. That's a cycle thing. Sometimes we do that. It's like for a period of time every year, that's going to happen almost. All right. So, yeah, my non-existence of, yeah, I don't have a sleep cycle either. Well, we have sleep cycles, but yeah, either way, my sleep cycles are not matching up with day cycles by any chance or by any means. So I get it. But yes, if you're worried that that there's something wrong with you, remember that you're a human being, and that also makes you an animal. And all animals have these cycles. Animals are seasonal, right? Sometimes an animal will be like, winter's coming, I'm going to go store up a bunch of food, or I'm going to go eat a bunch of food. Some animals just like, oh, winter's coming, I'm going to go to sleep. They have their cycles. You'll notice most animals, they have their mating periods where all of their babies come in, every species of animal has its cycles, and we humans aren't any different. While we don't necessarily have like a mating period, we don't have a I'm going to go hibernate, we don't have a I'm going to go store up a bunch of food cycle, but we do have these mental cycles, which is interesting. So there are going to be times where you just going to feel like you don't want to do anything, and then one day randomly you're going to wake up and be like, starting to feel like I want to do stuff. I'm starting to feel like I really should do stuff right now. I feel like I'm going to go do something right now. I'm going to go do something. And
What's
then all of a sudden
be?
you're doing
I don't
stuff.
know, but it's stuff, man.
Yeah, it's stuff, man. Don't worry about it. I got this.
About what it is.
So, yeah. So first I wanted to say that. So don't be sad with yourself. All right. The first thing you've already done right. You've got a good attitude, right? You just said, I went from the darkest mental state in my life and turned it into the brightest and happiest mindset I've ever had, right? Keep that going. Keep that attitude. Keep that perception of the world. Be thankful for what you have, right? If you spend more time being thankful, you'll spend more time noticing more opportunities that are positive in your life. The more time you spend being thankful for what was in the past, the more you'll notice opportunities ahead of you that lead to a better future. Trust me. So spend some time being thankful. When you wake up in the morning, go to Double Cup of Joe. They do this thing. They do this, ritual thing.
Yes.
Where routine, that's the word. Where they talk about what they're thankful for. And they ask the chat, like, what are you guys thankful for? Do that. Look at the past and be thankful. Then look at the future, right? And what are you excited for? And even if you're like, I'm excited for this, but I've just got no motivation right now, that's fine. Just tell us what you're excited for. Remind yourself, like, oh yeah, that's something I want to do in the future. That's like one of my goals is to do that. So yeah, I'm gonna remind myself of that, even if I'm not, even if I'm not motivated. And then the last thing they do every morning is pick what you're going to do today. What can you do today that will move you towards your future? So even if you are not motivated, it puts you in the mindset of, okay, I don't feel like doing anything, but I'm going to do something today that gets me moving forward into where I want to be in the future. Mm-hmm. What that's going to do is that's going to put you in a position where you just start working on something. And we just talked about this with the last topic, but you start working on something, and through working on it, you start to feel a little bit more motivated, at least for a short period of time, enough for like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of work, and then you get to a stopping point, and you're like, yeah, I don't feel like doing this anymore. I don't know what I'm going to do with my time. Maybe I'll go play a video game or something. I don't know. So that's pretty normal. Okay. What you do during that time does make a difference. The more time you spend unwantingly to make for a better future, the better future you're going to have. Mm-hmm. So if you continue to remind yourself that, then you're at least going to keep on moving forward, even when you feel like you're just drained. Because whether you feel drained or not, if you're getting work done, you're moving forward. Mm-hmm. If you're spending time on yourself to enlighten yourself and become stronger, even if you're not necessarily enjoying it, you're still doing it, and it's still making you a better person. It's still working to a better end, still working to a better future, right? One last thing I want to say on this topic, and then I'm going to get it over to Joe. This is crucial. Motivation, like we just talked about, motivation is an emotion. And so often we put the cart before the horse. And what you doing? Ow, attacking me? My goodness. Okay. We put the cart before the horse. What that means, if you've never heard that phrase before, imagine you've got a horse who's pulling a cart, right? The horse is here. Here's the wagon. The horse trots. The wagon comes with it. Now, what happens if you put the cart in front of the horse? The horse just runs into the cart. It's like, why did you put why are you trying to push a cart with the face of a horse? It's not smart. All right. Horses are not made to push things, not made to push carts with their faces.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like, why the long face?
Yeah. Why the long face? It's for pushing carts. No, it's not. It's just the way it's for eating grass. All right. They got to have they got to get down there. So they got to have long faces to get to that grass. That's why they got long faces, guys. So, yes, in other words, like Saigo said, it's trying to do things in the wrong order. So when you consider motivation, when you rely on motivation to get you to do something, like if you're like, I'm not going to do it unless I'm motivated, or unless I really want to do it, I'm just not going to do it. You're putting the cart before the horse. You're doing things in the wrong order, because motivation is an emotion, and emotions are a response. Emotions happen out of response. So if you're trying to say, I'm going to wait for something else that I have no control over to just happen randomly, to then suddenly make me go, all right, now I'm in work mode, you're doing things in the wrong order. It's really unreliable. You have to train yourself to be able to work or do things or improve yourself when you're not motivated to. Because the more, so whenever you're not motivated and you just choose to do it anyways, you keep on doing that. You keep on doing that. At some point, you're going to get mental strength. You're going to get, what do you call that?
Fortitude.
Yeah, mental fortitude. You're going to be strict on yourself, and that's very good, right? Discipline. You're going to be able, discipline. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Discipline. You're going to have the discipline to say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to set out and I'm going to do it, whether I want to do it or not, right? That's really important. So while you are in this period, Soka, the best thing you can do is to not feel motivated, but do the things that you know you need to do in spite of it. Be like, yeah, body, you're trying to tell me what I can and can't do. You're trying to put me through this period of like, oh, geez, I feel like doing nothing. Well, guess what? I'm going to show you what's up. I've got that power to take on the world right now, even if I don't feel like it. And then you start doing stuff. And you're like, what up, world? I'll tell you who's boss. Me. I'm boss of me. So then, right, you take control, you seize that opportunity, and then what do? You end up growing in a particular way that, let me tell you, the world needs. Like, it is one of the rarest strengths in the world when people are not motivated, but they choose to act anyways. It's one of the most honorable and rare strengths and talents that people can provide for themselves if they would only just start doing that. So anyways, that's it. I'm going to move it on to Joe.
Well, we could leave it right there and it'd probably be pretty good.
Okay. But let's not. Don't just be all unmotivated just because I said some stuff. It's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's a couple things, honestly, most of what Ryan said is exactly the stuff I would say. In fact, all of it. The only things I can add to that are I can reiterate the 3-step process at the beginning of the day. I've been doing that 3-step process now for a few years, and I've been pretty consistent. I even have a calendar that I mark off when I do it. So I have a calendar full of X's to know that I did that 3-step routine. I actually learned it from a guy named Mark Joyner. He's the founder of a company called Simpleology. It's basically all this productivity, this suite of productivity and personal development stuff, right? And it's been very, very helpful. And this one little thing made more of an impact than all the rest of everything that he has offered. And it was just that one little simple daily routine of getting up. And now, in his routine, it's 3 things. He's like, okay, think of 3 things you're thankful for, 3 things you're looking forward to, and then 3 things you're going to do today to move your life forward. We just started with 1 because that first one makes a huge impact, especially if you've never done it before. And so it's like, just to think of something you're thankful for. Now, you can think of more things. Some days I think of like 5 or 6 things I'm thankful for. And some days, all 5 of them are coffee.
Nice. I like pumpkin spice coffee. I like vanilla coffee. I like
all kind of coffee. Chocolate coffee.
I like black coffee and white coffee. I just made that one up. I'm gonna go try it.
I've never heard of that before, but it sounds like it'd be interesting. I'll try it. I'm gonna try it. It's gonna be good.
I'm gonna bleach my coffee. Okay, that's not a good idea.
But it was so impactful because being thankful just sets you in the right. It puts you in the right frame of mind. And then being forward focused adds to that. And so now you look at your life and you're like, you know what? My life is pretty good because I've got stuff I can be thankful for. And then you're like looking forward and you're like, you know what? The future is going to be great because look at all this stuff I got to look forward to. And then with that mindset, you can choose some actions that you can do. And then you become an activationist. You become a person who is actively moving forward. And like Ryan was saying, when you start moving, motivation is the result.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I've got to say again what Ryan just said, and it's totally the wrong order to think I need to be motivated in order to do something. No, you start doing something and you become motivated as a result.
Right.
It is totally the opposite of what the world would make you believe. Like I'm gonna motivate these people. No, the only thing that's gonna motivate these people is if they take action. Then they will be motivated. So you might inspire somebody to take action and then they'll be motivated, right? But that's the thing. Like, okay, so now how can we inspire ourselves? Well, there's some ways to do that. Do what Ryan said. Go back and listen to what Ryan said again and follow his principles that he went through, because that's gonna help you so much, and you're gonna stay motivated. The only things I can try to add to that is I noticed for me that having some kind of a physical exercise regimen made a huge difference, such a huge impact. It doesn't have to be like ridiculously strenuous. My workout program now is pretty strenuous because I've been doing it now for years, and I'm the type of person who always tries to, challenge myself to go a little bit further. And after you've been doing it for a while, you got to keep challenging yourself. And then by the time you're there, you're like, oh my gosh, like now my workouts are like pretty long and pretty strenuous. Like, and so, but I started with just a few minutes. Like you can do an effective workout in 5 minutes. You do some push-ups, you do some sit-ups, you do some jumping jacks or running in place, and you do some stretching. And that's it. And that could be it. And just doing that little few minutes, it does so many great things to your endorphins. It gets your brain working. It gets your blood pumping. It gets more oxygen through your system. And so you're thinking more better. More better.
Better Englisher.
Lux, mine is currently the One Punch Man workout. Yes.
I love
Bang.
it. That's hilarious, dude. Oh man, that's good.
But even that, I'll tell you, like, there have been times when I've been like getting ready for bed and there's a mirror right near my bed. And so I'll look at myself in the mirror and I'll be like, I'll just practice my jab or something, and I'll just do like 1 or 2 punches and then I won't be able to sleep.
That's relatable.
Because just doing that, just that action, just whoop, it kind of wakes you up and gets you going, But so there's that. The other thing is you can pave the way for you to do these things, right? If there's something you need to do, set it up to make it easier to do it. Like if you're going to exercise, like I put my shoes and my headband, my sweatband out right where I'm going to work out. So that way, if I'm ever feeling like, I don't really feel like doing it, it's easier to do it because my shoes are already set out and my sweatband is already set out. If I got to go dig my shoes out from under my bed or, dig in my drawer for a sweatband, like that's just extra tasks. And those are barriers on my way. There was a specific task that Ryan had given everybody on staff at BSS. And he said, okay, we need to figure out what is this company. What are we doing for the world? Like, because we're at some crossroads. We were like, okay, we could go this direction, we go this direction, we go this direction, we go that direction, or that direction, and all of them would be just fine. Like, we could probably do well in any one of those directions. And Ryan, in his wisdom, was just like, okay, before we even start thinking about what direction we want to go, what does it mean? What does BSS do for the world? What do we want it to do for the world? So define what that is. And I remember that I was like, wow. Because like, okay, so and then get into some details. What do we do for the world? What do we do for people who come into contact with us? What do we do? How do we have an income associated with that? So because I mean, a company needs an income or else it's dead. Really, I mean, you
can't pay people to keep on doing the thing that they're supposed to be doing.
Exactly, right? So there has to be some kind of income. So it's like, all right, so figure out, so just come up with some ideas and figure that out. And I remember that assignment and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this assignment. And then it got to be, we have weekly conference calls, right? And so it was like day 1, I was like, I didn't do the assignment. Day 2, I didn't do the assignment. Day 3, I still didn't do the assignment. Day 4, I'm like, we're more than halfway to the next conference call. I still haven't done the assignment. Day 5, I still hadn't done the assignment. And I was like, oh my, I got to do this. So the night of day 5, this is what I did. I took my notepad and a pen and I set it on my keyboard right at my desk, right in front of me. So that's where it was, right there. So I was like, all right, I am either going to pick up this pen and do the assignment, or I'm going to pick up the pen and move it out of my way. Right? So I picked up the pen and I did the assignment, but I did that specifically to make it, I had to put forth an effort whether I did the assignment or I didn't do the assignment. Like I was either going to pick up the pen and the paper and I was going to write the things that BSS meant to me, or I was going to pick up the pen and the paper and move it so I could actually get on, be on my computer. Right. So those are just some things. Like, so if it's whatever it is that you feel like you need to do, get it set up for you to do the next day or whenever you're going to do it. Like put the stuff in place. I'm going to need this. I'm going to need this. I'm going to need this, and put it all out where you're going to need it. And so then it's really easy to just jump right into it. So I've found that to be true for me. That has been such a huge difference maker in just thinking through, okay, I want to do this tomorrow, or I want to do this in an hour from now. What can I do to set it up so it's easy for me to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to have a certain program open on my computer already, so I can just jump right into it? Do I need to have pens? Do I need to have paper? Do I need to have headphones? What do I need in order to make that happen? And then set it all up beforehand. So then when the time comes to do it, when I've decided to do it, it's all ready and set up to go. And then the last thing is the 5-second rule. And I know I've said this on a bunch of different times recently on different shows. But it's the last book that I was just reading or listening to on Audible. So, but that's just, if you find yourself feeling resistance, just count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And when you get to 0, you start moving toward doing it. You pick up the pen, or you move toward, whatever it needs to do. Literally the fast first I'm gonna hear the 5-second rule. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, sorry.
Okay.
But there it is for you. Do it. Try it. You might like it.
Yeah.
But those are things that made an impact for me, and I bet you they could help you too. But the most important is what Ryan was talking about. Action comes first. Motivation is a result of taking action.
Yeah. Yeah. The one last thing I would like to add to this before moving on is this. Motivation. It's a word. See, sometimes you have to go back and really give great credit to the people who created words. Because in a lot of civilizations, they try to take something and make it make sense as a word, drawing from other concepts. So etymology is a useful tool. So anyways, right, the whole thing, this whole topic is about motivation, right? What do you think the word of Joe could probably you'll be able to answer this. What is the root of motivate? What's the root word there?
Motive.
Yes. What's your motive?
As in reason.
Right. What's your reason? Right. So if you want to motivate yourself, what's your motive? If you want to motivate yourself, what is your reason? Right? Go back to that. Because if you can find your motive, if you can find your agenda, like people talk about a political agenda like it's a bad thing. It's not. Because there are some agendas out there that are good.
Yeah.
There's people's motives can be good. They can have good motives, right? So go back, redefine. This is kind of something that Joe was talking about and I was talking about. Go back, redefine your motive, then start doing it. Because once you've got your motive, once you got your reason for doing it, and you just start doing it, then you'll find your motivation. To motivate is to give reason to. And that sounds weird because when you're motivated, it's because you have a reason to do it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
To motivate. So pay attention to that, your motive, because your motive can really set you up and really click with you and make you go, yeah, I really want to do that now. So that's my last tidbit of advice. But yep, ready to move on. Thanks, Luxoka. We appreciate it.
My motive for pasta was hunger.
Yes, exactly.
I like pasta.
I like pasta too. Pasta's one of my favorites.
Eight automotive.
Eight motive.
That's almost
I
like
see.
automotive.
Automotive. I think eight motive is like the motive, and then eight, like I ate food.
Mm-hmm.
I ate your motive.
Don't eat my motive.
Okay, I won't. I'm sorry, I said that. I didn't mean
You
to.
leave that, man. That's my
I
motive.
apologize. That was. I'll eat my own motive.
What's up with your mom and them?
What was up with your mom and them? Yo, what's up with your mom and them?
What's up with your mom and them? Mom and them.
Mom and them.
So we're at an interesting point in the show right now.
Yeah. What's our timestamp?
We are getting close to that 2-hour mark.
We sure are.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think we're just about there. So 1:55. Yeah, 5 minutes left.
So I'll tell you what, guys. We're going rather than start another topic and have to cut it short because of timing. I think we'll rather just close down the show for this evening, especially since now we get to be here 3 days a week for you guys, along with you guys. I love being here with you guys. And I know we've got more people here that have topics. Sakura and Journey to Japan. You guys both. We have your topics here, and we will be back on Wednesday. We can do them then if you're here, and hopefully you're here. And Luxoka says it's 4 a.m. and thank the Lord I can sleep. Yes, that's something to be thankful for. You can sleep. Sometimes you can't.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't shadow box before you go to bed.
Wise words.
It will keep you awake.
All right.
Don't punch the air.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, what did that air do to you? Jeez.
Lux says, sadly, I won't get any sleep. Hey, well, you know what? Come back at 6:30 a.m. Eastern, which I don't know what time that'd be for you. Apparently at 4. Okay, it's 4 o'clock. So you are 5 hours ahead of us. So you come back at 11:30 a.m.
11:30. Yeah.
Yep. And we'll be on. Me and Joe will be on there for you. And we will probably not be wearing Thing 1 and Thing 2 shirts, as fun as that would be.
That would be.
I just don't own a Thing 1 or 2 shirt.
Yeah, I only own a Thing 3 shirt, which is weird, but I do. No.
Yes. So at any rate, we love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. Any more topics, go to bss.studio. Princess can post the link. She already did before. But yeah, go and post that in the Don't Worry Wednesday section. Also, if you have something you want to hear us talk about on Double Cup of Joe show, you can also post it there. There's a topics area for Double Cup of Joe. Tomorrow we'll be going through. We're going through right now self-care. We're going through some ideas on how to take care of yourself during these times that we're in, because really we do need to take care of ourselves. And tomorrow is kind of going to be zeroing in on the physical aspect of our life, like our physical bodies and our health and all that
like
stuff.
Food and stuff.
Food, all that. Yep, absolutely. So that's a little teaser of what we'll be talking about some tomorrow. And then, as always, we'll be doing our 3-step routine that we would love to have you join in on. Sometimes we get some pretty interesting things people are thankful for.
Yeah.
And some things that we're going to do. Ryan was there today, and he says, what was the thing? The action step that he was going to take was, I'm going to receive a phone call from Joe.
Yes.
Like, that was the action. I'm like, I don't know if that's necessarily an action.
It's a reaction, I guess. So therefore, action is in the word of reaction. I don't know.
Yep. But I made it an action because I called him and woke him up. So
yeah,
it was an action.
It woke me up, and then it really woke me up because we got excited in that phone call. That was a good phone call, man.
Yeah. Just you guys wait. A year from now, like, I imagine this company is gonna have a new look to it. I mean, we'll still be doing all this cool stuff that we're doing now,
Mhm. It's
but
gonna be a pretty awesome
I
ride.
I think there's gonna be some refinements done. There's gonna be some new stuff along with it, and it's just whoa! Like we're so glad you guys are here with us. We hope that you stick around
Mhm.
because we love all of you, and we want to be on this journey with you. And so stick around and wait and see what comes because man, and maybe some of you guys are going to be involved in it. Who knows?
Mhm.
Who knows?
Very possible.
We shall see. Stranger things have happened. So
Mhm.
thanks again to Jesse for producing the show. Thanks again to Princess for running the chat room. And thank you, Ryan, for being the superstar that you are.
Yeah, you
And
too, man.
oh, thanks. And everybody come back. We will be here on Don't Worry Wednesday on Wednesday. We'll also be here tomorrow morning for Double Cup of Joe show at 6:30. And tomorrow afternoon, you can go to the Twitch stream on Twitch. That's why it's called a Twitch stream, because it is on Twitch. And Senna, you made it.
Peace, man.
I gotta tell you also, you should subscribe. You should follow Senna's Twitch stream as well. I had a great time hanging out with Senna the other day. I wasn't on there very long because I showed up kind of toward the end of her stream, but
Ah,
it was great to see her and
Senna's
hang out
amazing.
and
I
stuff.
love
So,
her. She's
yep,
a dear, sweetheart, amazing.
absolutely, absolutely.
But yeah.
So, at any rate, love you guys. We'll see you next time on Don't Worry Wednesday and on the
Yep. See
various
you guys.
other areas that we can see each other. So, you're awesome.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Bye bye. Peace.